Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. I'm back. Leslie Billittle Plazic, Zazoo Plazz, in the pouring rain, in the woods. Wow, it's really raining today. It's Memorial Day weekend. I was thinking I was going to do my planting. I don't know if it's going to turn out that way. It always seems like Memorial Day weekend around here. It's either like 90 degrees and hot and unbearably hot, or it's like 40 degrees and pouring, which is what we've got this year. So there I am. I'm going to try to, make this quick. I got a plastic bag on my phone. I got my golf umbrella here in case it gets really bad, which is what I think I'm going to do right now, because it's pouring. So sometimes I clean out the house and I give stuff to people, And this nice lady, she's coming over to get this. It's like a candy jar. My folks never used it. And they gave it to me. It's like a ceramic thing. And I said, I'll put it out. I'll put it out to give away on the community Facebook page. And the lady's like, I'm not going out to pick it up today. She's like, I went out this morning grocery shopping and I got soaked. So I said, okay, tomorrow is fine. I didn't tell her that I was going out in the woods to do my video. And I might go get the plants at a little nursery near my folks. It's a little place. I might go. They have the Ocean State job lot down the street, which is like one of those lots, those lots places, big lots or whatever, where they have tons of stuff. That's perfect for this time of year, like, pots and like little deck chairs and tables and, crap that it lasts one season and then you throw it out. It's like stuff that you go and buy. It's one of those kind of smells like a hardware store. Like when I was a kid, I used to go with my dad to the hardware store. I don't know why I've been thinking about that. Memorial Day brings back memories of being a kid growing up here near Hartford, Connecticut, a suburb of Hartford, east of Hartford. And Memorial Day to me there was nobody in my family who really served in any wars. My dad was in National Guard. My uncle was in National Guard or Air or something. My dad was a medic in the Air National Guard in Ohio before the Vietnam War started. I don't, he wasn't, maybe a little bit during the, mid-60s, late 60s, but he was out by the late 60s. So, none of my Uncle Mo he was in Morocco or something during the Korean War, and my father-in-law did serve actually in the Korean War. On my husband's side, he has several uncles who were much older than my father-in-law, who many of them, the Plazic brothers, served in World War II. They were, like 20 years older than my father-in-law. He was the baby, second the youngest of a family of 10. So there were a lot of Plazic brothers who served in the Second World War. By the time he came along, he served in the Korean War. But on my family, there's really, I would feel a sense of a great pride at being an American and pledging allegiance to the flag and all that. My dad would take me to the parade in town, and the Boy Scouts would go by, and the fire department and the police department, and he'd put me up on his shoulders, and I'd watch the parade, and then we'd go home and we'd have a cookout and have hot dogs and potato salad. And that was Memorial Day. Put the flag out front. Maybe it's kind of common for people in my generation to think, you know, and there are certain freedoms I guess we take for granted, that we should take time to, you know, thank those who fought for our freedoms. And this is such a time. But in my heart, I am a peaceful person. And I think, you know, I look around and I say, isn't it better, you know, and it's easy to fall into the cliche of, you know, the make love not war 60s chants. But as a baby, maybe it, you know, got drummed into my head. But I'm a very peaceful person, and if somebody starts a fight with me, I am very uncomfortable. I'll probably scuttle away and, you know, sulk for a little bit and probably never go back to whatever that conflict was, unless it's something that's, you know, deep at my core. And then I will fight. I will stand my ground. I won't fight, but I will look for ways, peaceful ways of defending my personal integrity. And I think that during this time we're in, with all the Gemini energy and all the changes that are going on, I feel like my best approach with the people in my family, the people I come into contact with, is to step back. You know, too many times I would launch myself forward right into a ditch. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit today, with thinking about some friends that I've had, and think, you know, the option for me would have been to take the Gemini approach and research and gather more information and ask and try to get the other person's point of view. There was a song I was working out today. It was Tom Petty. I guess that's the song for today. You don't know how it feels to be me. All right? And I thought, wow, I love Tom Petty. But that's a perfect song for today, as you'll see. You don't know how it feels to be me, to walk in my shoes. And I say that to my kids all the time. They're like, Mom, my youngest son says, Jack, he says, you know, I hear him in the kitchen. He has this thing where he'll take a big gulp of water, belch loudly, and then toss his plastic cup into the sink so it clatters. And this is when my office dining room is right next to the kitchen. And I'm like, could you please not do that? He's like, Mom, why do you have to be so darn sensitive? Everything gets you all defensive and mad. And I say, Zach, you know, I'm trying to work. And when I'm working, I am more sensitive. You know, same with my other son. He's coming and going. He comes in my office and he paces. He's talking about this new girl that he's going out with. They had their first date yesterday, my oldest son. Talk about change. He's now that we can get out and about, he met this girl like online, and she's the same age as my youngest son and going to the same college, going to be going to the same college as my youngest son, but she's, you know, apparently going out with my older son. So, you know, and I'm trying not to be too much of a nosy. I'm not trying not to be nosy Nelly or whatever. And just kind of let things evolve, you know. And there comes the rain. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, expect this to be even worse. We're in Mercury retrograde, folks. For me, being in Mercury retrograde is, oh man, it's pretty extreme. So anyway, expect a lot of deviations today. Anyway, so yeah, I was talking about trying to see the other person's point of view, and I said, Zach, imagine what it's like, to be, when you're working and mom leaves you alone to do your studying, and that's how we respect each other living in a house. We have boundaries, and it's important to let each other know when we're overstepping our boundaries. Some of us are more sensitive than others, though, so, if I had doors that I could close on my office, that'd be great, but I got curtains. I got red curtains. It's like in a theater, and you've got curtains and I'm performing. Or, like a confessional or something like that. That deep red. So anyway, today, this weekend, now that people are getting out and about, my husband's friend stopped by. He was in Connecticut visiting his dad. He and his wife, and they've got 3 grown kids now in their 20s. They live in Orlando, Florida. So he comes up, every now and then, and he stopped by for a slice of pizza Friday night and a beer. Just one beer. I didn't have any, but we got talking, and I was sitting there having pizza and salad, and he was my husband's best man at our wedding. They met when they were freshmen at college in Worcester. They were at this college called WPI, and I noticed, they've been good friends over the years. There were a group of those guys who were in the engineering school. They all lived together. They roomed together, and my husband sometimes watches these videos. So give him a shout out. I was looking at the two of them and how they pick up, after they haven't seen each other for a while. They pick up where they left off, and they have a certain similarity of the way they like to dress, the way they talk, the things they like to talk about, the jokes they think are funny, and we went down to see them when we took the boys to Disney when they were little kids. We stopped by their house down there, and they had a pool. So kids swam in the pool, and so we had a good time. I haven't really seen them since then, So he was going to tell his wife about my book. He took a picture of my Zazoo Plazz book, and I have a little shrine in the living room with Zazoo Plazz book. And he said, I'm going to tell her about it so she can read the book. And she's an incredible person. His wife, and I hadn't seen her in a while, but we were friends. She was one of my bridesmaids, matrons, because she was married at the time with a couple little ones. And, we had a good time. They're the kind of people, if you need help, they'll show up. Showed up when we moved into our apartment. She had a baby on one hip. She's cleaning my cabinets with bleach with the other hand, and I'm looking at her like, oh my gosh, how does she do that? How does she do that? She just does it. And it all kind of fits together, because I was thinking on this Trinity weekend about a friend of mine in school, in high school. She was a year ahead of me at East Catholic, and I talk about them in the book, the kids who were in the group called the Mangoes. And I looked up to them. So this friend of my husband's, his wife, kind of reminds me of this friend, MW. I don't know if you can see the picture, but there we are. Let's see if I can hold it like this. Yeah, there we are. And that was May of 1986 when she graduated from Trinity College here in Hartford. See, she's got a Rose. That's her middle name, Rose. And the roses are blooming in the back of our house. That is amazing. So see, there we are. I still had 1 year left to go in college, but she got her degree in business. And yeah, I think finance, same as me. And then she went on to, she still has a very successful business career. Insurance mostly, which is, you know, what you do here in Hartford. And she, she traveled to France when she was in college and majored in French, and she's a highly intelligent person, very worldly. She had a boyfriend who also was in her class at Trinity, and they came to see me when I was at Boston College. And so everything kind of all ties together. It's amazing. So this, you know, this friend, yeah, she, so she was, you know, like I said, we notice things in our friends that we like about ourselves. You know, she and I had similar hair. She was blonde, but she was very sporty. Oh, she was. She used to tutor French at prep school over in Windsor, and she was an excellent tennis player. An only child like me. You know, we had so much in common. We had intellectual interests. We had to, you know, go to cultural things, art, museum, theater. And, you know, she's a Sagittarius, the end of November. I think I'll write about her in my next book because we were good friends for so many years. And our moms actually were friends as well. And she was half or a little bit French and half Polish. So I started thinking, you know, maybe, she used to always say, she's like, you know what would be the good life? She said, I gotta marry a Polish engineer. And then, I don't think she's ever married, but I ended up marrying a Polish engineer, Polish-American engineer. I never thought about that. Her name ends in the, you know, S-K-I, and my husband likes to play tricks on me. He said when we were just dating, and I only knew about Polish people from this friend, and that my cousins had married Polish guys of Polish descent, American. And he says, you know, he said, they have to pay extra for the S-K-I at the end. So your friend there, she must have paid extra. Naive as I was, I believed him. I believed that. And then he had me believing that they had a fountain in A.C. Moore in the craft store. That was when I was pregnant, though, and I wasn't. But my husband has a way of saying things so you believe him, because he doesn't joke around, you know, he's a very detail-oriented person. So if he said that they paid extra for those names with the S-K-I at the end, you know, when they came through Ellis Island, I believed him. So she had one of those names. So I said, wow, she must be of a, you know, very high, descended from royalty almost. She had one of those names. So, you know, the things that we believe aren't always the truth, are they? Because he had me going there for a while. And she did like to ski. Now that I think about it, she liked to ski. She was very athletic. Those are the things I really liked about her. You know, and because I have so much Sagittarius, you know, I think I needed to have a lot of Sagittarius friends during that period of time. And Pluto was, well, I was almost going through Pluto and Sagittarius. But, yeah. what struck me about her is, she, that she was very impressed by people with money and by money. She once dated this guy, and she told me that he said he was married, but he was like separated, and I was like, I don't know that that's, so great, but she said, well, he has this chalet or somewhere that we go, and it has heated floors and heated towel racks. And I said, well, yeah, but little goody two-shoes Catholic girl that I was, like, yeah, but is he really, getting a divorce, or is he really, and I remember thinking, wait, now, but why was I judging her? Why was I judging her? She wanted a life of good things because, her family, maybe she didn't have those things when she was growing up. I don't know. I remember that it was always important to her to look, be put together, and to have the security. She wanted that security, the financial security. So what it ended up happening, among many stories and many things that I realize I can't possibly talk about here, but it will be. She will be in my next book. I did realize, why am I judging her? I don't know what it's like to be her. I don't know how it felt to be her. I only know what it feels like to be me. Would I want to date a married man who because he had heated floors? I don't think so. Just because he had a nice car? No, that wouldn't have been my personal integrity. But for her, who am I to judge? Who was I to judge? I was in the financial service industry for a while, and I was getting my friends involved in what turned out to be a company that ended up not sticking around, and that's in the book, in the chapter about Buck Hyder, and the inside information, earthenware jug. But yeah, so what I learned from that is that you never do business with your friends. Never. She was in one of those companies where you got your friends, or was she? I think for a while she was toying with that, those pyramid companies where you get people at the bottom and they keeps going up, and I said, geez, that's not a good thing to do. But then I went, I sold her an insurance vehicle. It was just business, but well, anyway, I'll put it in the next book. From that point on, I think we kind of grew apart. She was calling my mom, and my mom was doing her astrology, and she really kind of, got along better with my mom at that point, and that's kind of when we sort of drifted apart. Yeah, and it's always sad when that happens, but that was when I was getting married and having kids, and not seeing a lot of my single friends anymore. We just didn't have a lot in common. So that happens. It's amazing how our values change, or we become more truly ourselves. It tells us mostly about ourselves, more than the other person. Whatever the other person does, it really kind of doesn't matter. All you need to care about is what those people who have been put in your life tell you about yourself, and that's where you need to do your work. I can be naive and judgmental. Am I working on that? Yes, I am. I'm trying to understand and feel what it's like to be them, to be my friends, and appreciating the things that drew me to them in the first place. They're multilingual, crazy, funny. My friend, MW, she was funny. The kind of person you want to have at a party because you'll laugh your head off because she's so funny. The kind of person you want to go on a trip with because she will find all the great places to go. Kind of person you want to have a good time with and let your hair down and go skiing or play a good game of tennis. Those are what Sagittarius friends are good for. And they tell you a lot about yourself along the way. And do I miss her? I miss our adventures. I don't miss the person I used to be when we were friends back then. And I probably wouldn't go back, but I think about her and I send her blessings and love, and I honor the person that she was and is and the light that she brings to the world. So there's that. So on Memorial Day, I guess I have my own way of memorializing things, people, relationships, memorializing the paths I've been on, But those flowers have bloomed and become part of the earth again. Now it's time to plant new flowers. We can visit those graves, but those people aren't coming back. We can honor them, and then we can resolve as we go forward to become better people, lighter people, better quality people, and more connected to ourselves, and in so doing, more connected to all of life, the beauty that surrounds us, even in the freaking pouring rain. And she played golf too, my friend MW. She was an awesome golfer. Okay, so now I gotta go. I might go visit my parents, give my dad a slice of the Eagle Scout ceremony pie, cake. That not my son yet, but some other kids had their Eagle. They had their Eagle Courts of Honor in the pouring rain and cold yesterday. Congratulations to them. So it's a busy time, and so hopefully next week will be warmer and drier. And I'm going to go pick up some plants to put out in the yard at some point, and bring Dad some cake and watermelon. So on that note, it's pouring, so I'm out of here. Zazoo Plazz. Ow. Signing out. You have a happy Memorial Day and a beautiful, wonderful summer season as we're about to launch into it. I hope your summer is full of beautiful things, wonderful, wonderful times and memories, and lots of new exciting stuff to learn and do. And so, see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.